In December of last year, the Nintendo Switch 2 was only a rumor. We knew nothing about it. And look at us, 1 year later, we've been playing with this thing for over 6 months, and I'm loving the crap out of it. So what do you say that we go back to the past and we look at everything that happened in 2025 regarding the Nintendo Switch 2? Starting with... After years of rumors and speculations about a new, more powerful version of the very popular Nintendo Switch system, we finally got our first official look at this console on January 16th, when Nintendo posted a YouTube video called An Update from Nintendo. This rather cryptic video was actually a first look at their brand new console, the Nintendo Switch 2! This little teaser showed the classic Nintendo Switch evolving into the new one, with the screen and the Joy-Con getting bigger, showing off a new USB-C port on top of the console, an adjustable kickstand, and it finally confirmed the rumors that the Switch 2 Joy-Cons would attach using a magnet instead of a slide-down mechanism like the OG Switch had. The console will be named Nintendo Switch 2 and will feature a brand new Mario Kart game. At least this is what we can assume by the 15 seconds of gameplay shown. A release date of 2025 was also revealed, with more information being available on April 2nd, when a Nintendo Direct dedicated to the console will air. A series of hands-on events called Nintendo Switch 2 Experience will also be held around the world so people can experience the console before it launches. This short 2-minute videos was all that we got, and you know what? It was more than enough to get me super excited about it. In order to attend these events, you need to register online and hope you win a lottery to get your tickets. Well, alright, now that I am entered in the drawing, all that is left to do is to wait. I am sad to report that I didn't win the drawing, and thus will not get to attend the Nintendo Switch 2 experience. That's a bit sad, but I'll get over it, hopefully. Not much happened during the month of March, as everybody was just waiting for the April Nintendo Switch 2 Direct. We did get a kind of boring Nintendo Direct for the OG Switch, but this is irrelevant to the topic of this current video, so let's move on. The day before April 2nd, it was revealed that the new Nintendo Direct dedicated to the Nintendo Switch 2 would be about an hour long and would be followed by 2 different Nintendo Treehouse live streams the following days. And wow, that was like the best news ever! So yeah, on April 2nd, I was in front of my computer screen, ready to get my mind blown, and here's how everything went. The Direct started off with a look at that Mario Kart game that was teased during the January reveal, and wow, does it look good! The art style that's being used is so gorgeous, and every character is super expressive. We can see some desert tracks, winter tracks, grass tracks, and so much more. The roster seems to be quite diverse too, as a bunch of brand new characters were introduced, such as the cow from Moo Moo Meadows or the Hammer Bros, and it seems like these characters will be able to have a bunch of cool outfits too. The game is called Mario Kart World, and it will be released as a launch title for Nintendo Switch 2. Instead of all the tracks being separated from one another, they now form a giant world and are all interconnected by different roads and highways you get to traverse. Yup, not only will you drive on the tracks, but you'll also get to drive to your next destination before racing once again. Okay, I'm interested in Nintendo. The game will also feature weather mechanics and will feature a time of day mechanic. How will these affect your races? Only time will tell. A new mode called Knockout Tour was also shown, and basically, it's a freaking Mario Kart Battle Royale! You'll be starting with 24 players, and as you reach some checkpoints, well, the 4 last players will be eliminated until there's only 4 remaining, and they fight to the death to get first place. This new mode is what excited me the most. I love the idea. More details about the game will be shared in an upcoming Mario Kart World Direct on April 17th. During the teaser in January, a mysterious button could be seen on the right Joy-Con, a mysterious C button. What can it be? Well, now we know that it is used to open up a new feature exclusive to the Switch 2, Game Chat. If you're wondering what Game Chat is, well, think Discord, but on the Switch. That's right, you can now voice chat with your friends as well as share your screen and show your face using the brand new Nintendo Switch 2 camera. This new system looks quite interesting and I'm looking forward to trying it with friends. Another new feature was then introduced called Game Share, and with this one, it is revealed that some specific games will now be shareable online and locally with your friends, even if they don't own the game. That's actually pretty neat, and reminds me of the good old DS download play feature that was available back then. The first lineup of games includes popular ones like Mario Odyssey, 3D World, Clubhouse Game, and a few more, with more titles being planned in the future. The next part of the Direct gave us a better look at the console itself and a bunch of its specs. Nintendo Switch 2 will have a 7.9-inch 1080p LCD display that will support 120 FPS in compatible games. It will also be HDR compatible, giving us brighter and more vivid colors. As shown before, the Joy-Cons will use magnets to attach themselves to the console, which is actually pretty neat. Joy-Cons can now also be used in mouse mode, which will allow for better controls in some games. I'm thinking of FPS games like Metroid or maybe strategy games like Civilizations. The console now features a built-in microphone that can be used with the Game Chat feature that was previously shown, and a second USB-C port will be used to plug in accessories or to charge the unit. Nintendo Switch 2 will have 256GB of onboard storage, which is 8 times more than the OG Switch with its mere 32GB. Then, we were shown the brand new Switch 2 dock, which will allow for 4K resolution in some games. And it even features fan ventilation to cool off the console and keep it performing well. Man, I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't expecting the Switch 2 to be this powerful. I'm very happy about everything they announced so far. Next up was a look at a new game called Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour, which is some sort of little museum game where you will learn more about the console, its features, and how everything works. I guess this is like the Wii Sport or the Nintendo Land of the Switch 2. It's gonna be the packed-in soft... Wait a minute. Available as a paid digital-only game? I gotta pay for freaking tech demos? Okay, that's kind of lame, but whatever. The game cards for Switch 2 will be a bright red color, which will distinguish them from the old boring gray ones. All of your saves and data will be transferable from your OG Switch system, so that's pretty neat. A Nintendo Switch 2 Pro Controller was also revealed, and it looks a lot like the OG Pro Controller, except this one features a headphone jack and 2 mappable buttons in the back. Man, those are great news. But when can I get my hands on this lovely console? June 5th. Heck yeah, that's like in 2 months! 3 types of games will be playable on Nintendo Switch 2. The first one is, well, exclusive Switch 2 games, duh. The second type is compatible Nintendo Switch 1 games, which upon looking at the list is like pretty much all of them. I think the only one that's incompatible is the Nintendo Labo Toy-Con VR kit, because well, the Switch 2 is bigger and it won't fit inside of that cardboard thing. Last but not least, the third game type is Nintendo Switch 2 editions of Nintendo Switch 1 games. Those Switch 2 editions will typically improve the gameplay by adding new features or by increasing performance. Mario Party Jamboree was first shown, and this one will feature an upgrade for the Switch 2 edition, allowing for some camera support, and it will feature exclusive minigames using it. It's also gonna feature a bunch of mouse mode minigames, so yeah, it's kinda cool. It was also revealed that both Zelda Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom would receive a Nintendo Switch 2 edition, which will run at 60 frames per second at 1440p. It will also support HDR for more vibrant colors. A companion app called Zelda Notes will also allow you to better track the hidden collectibles like Korok seeds, and will even feature a GPS to guide you to your destination. It's gonna feature a couple more things, like being able to share your creations in Tears of the Kingdom and share some items in both games. But yeah, all in all, this looks amazing! Next up was Kirby and the Forgotten Land, which is gonna receive a Switch 2 edition, and this one will bring in a new DLC called Star-Crossed World. This DLC will add new levels and more power-ups, so I'll be on the lookout for it. Metroid Prime 4 Beyond will also receive a Switch 2 edition, which will run at a better frame rate and will allow you to use the right Joy-Con in mouse mode. This is just perfect, and Metroid Prime 4 is the perfect game for that new feature. Last but not least, Pokemon Legends ZA will also have a Switch 2 edition, and this one will run at a better frame rate and resolution, which for a Pokemon game is always welcome. Those Nintendo Switch 2 editions will be sold digitally or physically in store for those that do not own the OG Switch game, but for those that have them, well, they'll be able to buy an upgrade pack to upgrade their games using these new features. How will these upgrade packs cost? Well, no words on that for now. After that, it was time for Nintendo to show us a few upcoming games. The first one is a new IP called Drag X Drive, and in this one, you'll use the Joy-Con to move your character in their wheelchair, and the goal is to throw the ball in the hoop. It looks okay, I guess. Elden Ring received a trailer, and I've heard great things about this game, so it's cool to see it on a Nintendo platform. Hades 2 will also release on the Nintendo Switch 2, and as a fan of the first Hades game, you bet I'm gonna pick that one up. Remember that mech game called Demon Ex Machina, which didn't sell that well on Switch 1 and wasn't that good? Well, good, cause the sequel has been announced called Titanic Scion. Yay! Hogwarts Legacy will also be on Switch 2, as well as EA Sports Madden and FIFA, FC, whatever it's called nowadays. After seeing a couple more third-party games, it was time for a brand new trailer, and well, it's a brand new entry in the Hyrule Warriors franchise. Oh my gosh, I cannot wait for this one! You know how much I love this freaking game series! Age of Imprisonment will tell the story of what happened to Zelda during the Tears of the Kingdom events, when she was sent back to the past. This is gonna be insane. And now, do you like GameCube games? Well, rejoice, as Nintendo GameCube titles are coming for the Nintendo Switch 2. We'll get Zelda the Wind Waker, Soul Calibur 2, and F-Zero GX in the first batch, with a bunch more to come in the future. Man, this is truly exciting. Obviously, a Nintendo Switch Online GameCube controller will be available for purchase for Switch Online members, and I know it will go great with the rest of the family. I can't wait to pick it up. Deltarune Chapters 3 and 4 will be out on June 5th on Switch 2, which is awesome! I love this little game, and I'm definitely gonna play it from the start when it comes out. Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade will also be released for the Switch 2, and as I've heard amazing things about this one but have yet to play it, I think I'm finally gonna join the club. A new exclusive game from Software was then revealed. This one is called The Dusk Bloods, and it looks quite interesting. A brand new Kirby game was then shown, and wait a minute, it's actually a brand new Kirby Air Ride game! Oh, that's even better! Kirby Air Riders, produced by Masahiro Sakurai, the producer of the Smash series. Let's freaking go! The final game that was shown is a brand new 3D Donkey Kong game called Bonanza. And man, does it look good! It feels like Super Mario Odyssey with the different environments you get to explore, but the world destruction is brand new, and I can't wait to get my hands on this one in July! Oh wow, that's not too far actually. To end the presentation, it was revealed that a Switch 2 pack including Mario Kart World will be available to buy, and it will come at a cheaper price compared to buying them both separately. Alright Nintendo, well now the only thing left is to reveal the price. The direct is over? Wait, what? No price? Okay, that's kind of odd. There must be something really sus about all of this. Alright, let's check out Nintendo's website. Oh, 450 buckaroos! That's pretty expensive! And if you want the Mario Kart bundle, it's gonna be 500 bucks? Okay, I get why they didn't say anything during the direct. This price point sadly killed the hype for many gamers. But to be fair, considering all of the new features and the power of this console, I think the console price is steep but fair. What isn't so fair is how much the games will cost. Mario Kart World will be $79.99 USD. What the F? Games are typically $59.99. Like, okay, I was expecting $69.99, which is what PS5 games cost. But $79.99? This sparked an outrage online, with people being very annoyed by the price, begging Nintendo to drop the price of both the console and the games. But yeah, I don't see that happening, especially with the current economic context. Let's just say that the Nintendo Treehouse live streams of Thursday and Friday were quite interesting to watch with the chat on. People kept spamming drop the price, lower the price, and other variants of the same message for the entire duration of both live streams. It was really something. The Treehouse live streams in themselves were really entertaining, and they gave us plenty of footage of the upcoming games. I mean, we saw Metroid, Zelda, Mario Kart, Street Fighters, Kirby, Donkey Kong, GameCube, Drag X Drive, and even the freaking Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour app. This live stream just made me more excited about everything to come, and I just can't wait to experience it all, even if I'm gonna end up being broke by buying all of this. Thankfully, we'll be able to pre-order the console on April 9th, so I will secure the goods. Uh-oh, it's April 4th now, and Nintendo has taken the unprecedented decision to delay the Nintendo Switch 2 pre-orders in the US because of the impact of Donald Trump's tariff war and the evolving market conditions. Well, shit! A couple days later, Canada received the exact same news, with pre-orders being delayed indefinitely. Man, I'm from Canada, I didn't vote for that guy, why am I getting punished? You can still register your interest in buying a Nintendo Switch 2 on the Nintendo Store website, and apparently the first invitations will be sent out in May. But man, I want to get this console from an actual store to get it on launch day. I'm really mad right now. As the Nintendo Switch 2 experiences happened in New York, London, LA, and other cities, well, more and more gameplay of Mario Kart World and the upcoming games flooded the internet. And the more I look at them, the better they keep getting. I need my Switch 2, give it to me! April 17th is here, and it was yet again time for a Nintendo Direct presentation, but this time focused on Mario Kart World. This Direct gave us a better look at all of the features that were previously announced while revealing a couple new ones, like a rewind feature that can be used in solo play to go back in time and replay some sections of a race. The free roam mode was also shown to feature missions where you have to complete certain objectives like collecting coins or going through gates in a short amount of time. This mode will also feature hidden collectibles all over the place, and I'm so down for that. This Nintendo Direct was a bit controversial because people felt like they didn't learn much about the game, and all of this could have been shown during the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct. But at this point, everybody's just complaining about whatever Nintendo is announcing anyways. So all aboard the rage train, choo-choo! Just before Easter, Nintendo finally told everyone in the US and in Canada that they will be able to pre-order the Switch 2 on April 24th. The console will remain at the same price, but the controllers, cameras, and other accessories all receive a little bump of $5 to $10 each, which is due to the changes in market conditions. It was also said that other adjustments could be made in the future. Please, Donald, stop playing around. I don't want to pay $1,000 for a freaking Nintendo console. You gotta chill out, bro. The day of pre-ordering finally arrived. And well, I stayed up late until midnight to get my hands at a console on Walmart.ca, as they were the first one going live here in Canada. And wow, it was a shit show! The servers kept crashing, adding the Switch 2 to your cart didn't work half the time, and when I finally made it to checkout, the Switch 2 was removed from my cart! Truly one of the worst shopping experiences of my life. But I can't really complain, cause I was lucky enough to secure one in the end. Sadly, Walmart told me they were gonna deliver it on June 9th, which is 4 days after the release date, which is unacceptable. So I decided to get to my local GameStop the following morning at 8, and I waited with over 50 people to get an in-person pre-order, and well, once again I got it! So yeah, my Walmart Switch will go to one of my friends that didn't manage to get a pre-order, so in the end, everything is gonna be okay. During the month of May, a few Nintendo Switch 2 related things happened. First off, the Nintendo Today app gave us a look at pretty much everything we'll be getting our hands on next month. So now we can see the Switch 2 box, the cartridges, the game boxes, the SD cards, and a 360 degrees view. Do we need that? No. Is it cool anyways? Heck yeah! On May 8th, the invitations to pre-order the Nintendo Switch using the Nintendo Store started to get sent to eligible people. I personally wasn't chosen yet again, but thankfully I had secured a pre-order on the 24th at my local GameStop, so I was all good. Those lucky enough to be selected also had the chance to buy a Nintendo GameCube controller as well, but on the 13th, everyone else also got the chance to pre-order their own controller, and well, luckily for me, I got it instantly. It sold out about 6 hours later, but I'm sure this will get a restock down the line, so no worries. Just before the end of the month, the Pokemon Company decided to reveal the release date for their upcoming Pokemon game Legends ZA, and this one will be out on October 16th for both Switch 1 and Switch 2. Well, there you go. The month of June is finally here, and well, in 5 days, everybody will get their hands on the Nintendo Switch 2. Hopefully. Luckily, everything went smooth, and when the launch day finally arrived, I made my way to my local GameStop a couple hours early, and eventually, I was let inside to buy everything. I had pre-ordered a console and a couple more accessories. I did get some of the Zelda amiibos, although they didn't have the Goron guy anymore, and I also got a camera and an SD card. When I got home, I unboxed this brand new console, and wow, it feels so good! It's way bigger than what I had in mind, and when comparing it to the Switch Lite, it looks like a freaking giant! Booting it up for the first time and setting it up was actually real fun, and I did spend most of my day playing it. Well, that was after I made some of my Switch 2 experiments videos first. This is a really well-built console, and I feel like holding it for longer periods of time doesn't hurt my hands so much. The very first game I decided to play is the brand new Mario Kart game, obviously, as it is the main new title this console got. Mario Kart World is a fantastic game, and the new open world really makes the game feel alive. No longer do you just teleport from one track to the next. No, you now have to drive to your destination. The road you traverse in between tracks are called intermission tracks, and they're full of traffic to avoid, little bumps you can trick on, and other fun hazards to dodge. I know they're a bit controversial, but personally, I kinda like them. I would have liked to see a more classic Grand Prix mode to be included as well, but for the time being, it isn't. Knockout Tour is the brand new Battle Royale mode where you start your race with 23 other players, and as you drive through the track and go through some gates, the 4 last players get eliminated, up until there's only 4 remaining to get to the finish line. It's such a simple idea, but the execution is flawless. They really needed a big connected world to make it work, and it's just super fun. Getting a 3 stars rating on each cup and Knockout Tour ain't easy, and the computer players are pretty aggressive when you play well. I do like the challenge, but sometimes I do feel like they're cheating a bit, getting a blue shell in the very last turn of the final lap, giving me no chance to recover. But hey, it's Mario Kart, it's a party game after all. The new wall riding and grinding mechanics are actually super fun and very useful, and the time trial records using them are just batshit insane. This is really a game that you have to play a lot to get good at, and I respect that. I also played the controversial Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour game. I say controversial because everybody was really mad at Nintendo for charging money for that one, and I kinda get why. It's a compilation of quizzes, tech demos, and minigames that teach you the new features of the Nintendo Switch 2. The mouse mode, the camera, the HD Rumble 2, and all of the other tech is featured and explained very well. I'm not gonna lie, I did spend a lot of time playing this game. I love to learn about new tech, and this app will reveal all of the tricks they use to build a console, like how they cool it off, how the Joy-Con 2's magnet works, and why it's so strong, etc, etc. I know the quizzes may repel some gamers, but seriously, if you just have a tidbit of interest in tech, spend that $10 and check this title out, it's well worth it. After that, well, I had to try out the Nintendo Switch 2 version of The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, and what better way than to start over and play it from the beginning? This is exactly what I decided to do, and luckily for me, this version adds a second save file, meaning that my OG Switch 1 save doesn't need to be deleted. I respect this decision. To be fair, it's Breath of the Wild, but running in 60 FPS and upscaled to 4K. Everything looks cleaner and crisper, and it makes the experience 10 times better, and as this game was already a masterpiece, you can imagine it's even better now. The addition of the brand new Zelda Notes mobile app also makes this experience more enjoyable. You can use the app to see the whole map, see where the Korok seeds are, or the towns, towers, and big enemies. Basically, it's a smart map that shows you everything. I wouldn't recommend using it during your first playthrough though, as exploring this big world without knowing what you can find is part of the magic. But as it was my second playthrough and I already knew what to expect, well, I decided to use this app to find things a bit quicker. There's also Zelda memories, which you can find around the map, and when you get to them, well, Zelda will tell you a bit more about this location. It adds a lot to the lore, but I didn't really care about it as much as I would have wanted to. I also tried a bunch of Switch 1 games that got free upgrades to the Switch 2, and most of them look a bit better and run at higher resolutions, but these updates are not life-changing to me. Well, actually, now that I think about it, the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet did change the game way more. These games were known to be buggy, slow, and ugly on the OG Switch, and now with the power of the Switch 2, they run at a constant 60 FPS and at a better resolution too. You can see more wild Pokemon spawns at once, which makes the experience better to catch them all. This game is actually worth replaying on the new console, that's for sure. The month of June was also full of cool announcements as well. First off, on June 10th, a brand new Splatoon spin-off game was revealed, Splatoon Raiders. Not much was said about this one, but we know Deep Cut is riding a helicopter traveling to the Spiralite Islands. But then, a beam of light emanates, forcing the helicopter down. It is now your job, playing as a character named The Mechanic, to explore this island. Why? I don't know. What's the gameplay like? I don't know. That's all they said. We have no idea what this game is about. But everything the Splatoon team releases is actual gold, so I am not worried a bit. On the 16th, Nintendo announced that a new Nintendo Direct was right around the corner. This new one focused exclusively on the brand new Donkey Kong Bonanza game that will come out in July. 2 days later, the Direct aired, and well, wow. This presentation started off by revealing that the Odd Rock character we had seen in previous gameplay was none other than Pauline, but a teen version of her. Okay, that's cool. This game looks really fun and polished and reminds me a lot of Super Mario Odyssey on the OG Switch. As DK, you'll be exploring a bunch of different worlds, breaking walls, digging tunnels, and collecting as many bananas as possible. There are some bosses to fight too, shops to visit, clothes to buy, and there's even a freaking skill tree. Yeah, a skill tree in a Donkey Kong game! Count me in! A new mechanic, Kong Bonanza, was also revealed, and using it, you can turn DK into a bigger, stronger version of himself that can break very hard and solid walls. You can also turn into an ostrich and fly in the sky, or turn into a zebra to run extra fast and even run on water. There's probably other Bonanza transformations in the game, but they were not shown today. It was also revealed that the game features a 2-players mode with 1 player controlling Pauline, and well, you can use game chat to play it with a friend online, or even game share to play it locally, even with Nintendo Switch 1 owners. Okay, that's pretty insane. A Switch 2 exclusive game shareable to Switch 1 owners? That's really cool. Obviously, more details were shown and more tidbits were discussed, but we'll save these for when I play the actual game next month. Oh, on June 24th, Drag and Drive was also given a price and a release date. Remember that one? Yeah, it's the wheelchair basketball game using the Joy-Con 2 mouse controls. It's coming out on August 14th as a digital-only game via the eShop and will be sold for $20. Okay, sure, I have next to zero hype for this title, but at this price, I can't really complain. I'm sure it will be fun for a couple hours. Hopefully. July is here, and it's finally time to play a brand new exciting Switch 2 game, Donkey Kong Bonanza! The last full 3D Donkey Kong game was DK64, released back in 1999, so it was long overdue. I have great news. This game is pretty freaking awesome! Basically, it's a big adventure where you control DK and you explore different worlds, or layers as the game likes to call them. Each of these layers is themed and features different gimmicks, blocks, turret types, and more. The novelty from this game is that the world is fully destructible, and like, for real, it is! I would say 95% of the world can be destroyed by punching it, and trust me, breaking everything is quite fun, so you'll definitely want to do it. By punching your way through sand and rock, you'll discover hidden collectibles that you can collect for fun, but what you're truly looking for are those Banandium gems, or as I like to call them, oh banana! This game was made by the Super Mario Odyssey team, and it really shows, because it is built in a similar fashion. You can decide to just follow the objective and breeze through the game very fast, or you can take your time and try to collect as many bananas as you can. The choice is yours. Personally, I wanted to collect as many bananas as I could before moving on to later levels, and that's exactly what I did. I ended up 100% completing this game, and I have zero regrets. It was fun from beginning to end. If you like platforming games with lots of collecting, well, do yourself a favor and get this one. But yeah, that was the main Switch 2 title during the month, so after that, I don't think I played anything else really. On July 22nd, a brand new Pokemon Presents was live streamed on YouTube, and this one was highly anticipated by Pokemon fans from all over the world. Heck, DJ Pikachu was there for the pre-show, and he kept playing bangers after bangers. Sadly, the same cannot be said about the main event. Basically, we got the announcement that a new season of the TV show Pokemon Concierge was in the works, and we got a preview of a new series coming out in 2027 named Pokemon Tales: The Misadventures of Sirfetch'd and Pichu. A new theme park called Pokepark Kanto is being built in Japan and will open up in 2026. It's gonna feature Pokemon statues and towns to explore. It looks alright, I guess. After that, we got our typical updates on, Pokemon Go, Pokemon Unite, Pokemon trading card game, but if you don't play any of these games, you don't really care. Speaking of not caring, well, a new puzzle game was revealed and released the same day called Pokemon Friends, and this game seems like a collection of simple browser games, but with that Pokemon sauce on top of it. I wouldn't really complain about this one if it was free, but nope, you gotta pay $10 to get it for Switch. Oh, and there's already a bunch of DLC packs ready to download, so I think getting them all is like $40 or something. The game is also available on mobile phones, and it's a pay-to-play type of game. Like, it's free, but you can only play for a few minutes every single day before the game forces you to pay to unlock more. It's kinda dumb, and I don't like it. The new battle game Pokemon Champions received a new trailer, and this one actually showed gameplay, and well, it looks alright. I was never a hardcore Pokemon battle enthusiast, but I liked Pokemon Stadium on the N64, so if it's anything like that, I'll pick it up. It's coming out in 2026. Last but not least was another look at Pokemon Legends ZA, the upcoming game for Switch and Switch 2. And well, it looks pretty fun. It's really different from that other Pokemon Legends game, but I'm all for it. Give me more Pokemon. And that was it for the presentation. As this YouTube comments points out, well, this whole presentation could have been an email. A couple days before August 1st, Nintendo revealed that Mario Paint is coming out to the Nintendo Switch Online SNES collection. This original title used to work with the SNES mouse. And well, if you want to play it on Switch or Switch 2, well, you'll need to plug in a USB mouse. Or you can simply use the Joy-Con 2's mouse feature if you're playing on Switch 2. That's pretty cool. I'm glad they actually introduced this title, as it's a game I spent a lot of time playing as a kid. Especially this minigame where you have to hit a bunch of bugs before they attack you with all sorts of crazy moves. The Switch port works great, and yeah, Shadow dropping this before the end of the month was kinda cool. Rumors of a Nintendo Direct happening in July were being spread around like a wildfire. And well, Nate the Hate said it was happening, so you know what? I believed him. And truth is, we did get a Nintendo Direct, but it's actually a partner showcase. Okay, sure, why not? This is the first Nintendo Direct since the Switch 2 dropped in stores, so now we get a cute little icon before each announcement telling us if the game's exclusive for Switch 2 or if it's gonna work on the older models as well. Neat! This Direct introduced a few new games that are coming out on Switch 2, like Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, Plant vs. Zombies Remastered, Replanted, whatever. EA Sports is back on Nintendo with 2 new sports games, football and American football. Yay, I suppose. We got another teaser for Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment, but still no release date, which is a big bummer for me. Borderlands 4 and Octopath Traveler 0 were also revealed as Switch 2 exclusive coming out later this year, and a brand new action JRPG called Elliot the Millennium Tales was announced for next year. This latter one also has a demo available on the eShop, and having played it, I can say it's actually quite good. I'm looking forward to this one. Ports of Apex Legends and Star Wars Outlaws are also coming out soon, so there's that. All in all, it was a decent partner showcase, but those were no major announcements to be completely honest. I was expecting Microsoft to reveal a few games coming out to Switch 2, but alas, nothing. Oh, wow, I almost forgot. Nintendo also released the brand new Jamboree TV mode for Mario Party Jamboree. And well, this new upgrade is poop. It adds 20 new mouse minigames and a few more that will use a Nintendo Switch 2 camera. But I'm gonna be brutally honest, these new additions are not even good. All of those new minigames are mid, and well, this is totally not worth your time or your money. They really dropped the ball on that one. The following week, an Indie World presentation was also announced, and well, on the 7th, it dropped. Everybody was super hyped about learning more about Hollow Knight Silksong. 6 years in the making. It's finally happening today, right? Nope, but we got a few neat indie titles shown anyways. Mina the Hollower, a game from the makers of Shovel Knight, was shown here, and it even features a playable, downloadable demo right away. It's pretty neat. I played it, and it reminds me of classic Game Boy Zelda titles. It was enjoyable. Content Warning, a funny meme game that you can play online with your friends, is also coming out on Switch 1 and 2 next year. And well, it looks pretty good. UFO 50, a collection of various indie projects and games, was shown, and apparently it's really good. It is also coming out the same day, so I guess I'll have to check it out eventually. A couple more indie titles were shown, but it was a very short 15-minute presentation and featured no Silksong, so I know a couple people were a bit mad that it didn't happen. Do you want more Nintendo Direct? Because Nintendo's not done yet. On August 19th, a 45 minutes long presentation about Kirby Air Riders was streamed, and well, we learned a lot about this title. A bit too much, I suppose. 45 minutes felt a bit long, but seeing Masahiro Sakurai being passionate about a project makes it worth watching. Basically, this game feels like Kirby Air Ride, but in HD, and that's not a bad thing. It looks super fun, very deep in its mechanics, and well, City Trials is in it. So what more do we want? A release date? Sure. The game comes out on November 20, so we'll have to be patient before trying it out. That is, unless you go to PAX West, where the game will be playable. Pretty cool. The next GameCube title to be introduced on the Nintendo Switch Online library was revealed, and it's Chibi Robo. I remember renting this one as a kid, but I don't have strong memories of it. Apparently it's really fun and worth checking out. It's also super expensive to own the physical GameCube disc nowadays, so a way to play it for cheap on the go is always good. Oh shoot, I almost forgot. Drag X Drive was also released during the month of August, and well, it also had a free trial period the weekend prior to the release. And it's kinda boring. The controls are working great and all, but after playing 2 to 3 matches, I just had no intention to replay this title. This is the reason why I didn't even buy it, and that comes from the guy that bought all of the 1-2 Switch titles. So yeah, this game truly was not for me. Just before the end of the month, a brand new DLC for Kirby and the Forgotten Land was finally released. Welcome to Star-Crossed World, the exclusive Switch 2 edition which adds new levels and a few new abilities. To be perfectly honest with y'all, this one just didn't do it for me. Like, I loved Kirby and the Frogore very much when it was released on the OG Switch, and the idea of having more made me quite happy at first. But for the price they ask, I just felt like I didn't get my money's worth. There's a total of 12 new levels, and this whole DLC can be cleared in like 2 to 3 hours. Which is just not enough, man. Don't get me wrong, those levels are expertly crafted and the new mouthful abilities are super fun to use, but this DLC just leaves you wanting for more. If you never played this game though, well, being able to experience it for the first time running at 60 frames per second instead of 30 is a big win. In my opinion, this DLC should have been $10 max, and then I wouldn't be complaining about it. But whatever, I can't choose the price, eh? Fasten your seatbelt, because the month of September was actually a great month for Switch gamers. Not necessarily because of Nintendo, as they didn't release any first-party titles during the month. Thankfully, there were a lot of amazing third-party games that kept me busy for the entire month, and even more. The thing is, before I tell you all about those games I played, I have to talk about the most important thing that happened during the month: a full-fledged proper Nintendo Direct. Let's talk about it. September 2025 marks the 40th anniversary of my boy Mario. So the presentation started off with a bunch of announcements regarding everyone's favorite plumber. The Super Mario movie sequel finally got an official title, and it's gonna be the Super Mario Galaxy movie. Yup, we're going to space this time around. To celebrate this, what would you say about playing Super Mario Galaxy once again? Rejoice, as Super Mario Galaxy 1+2 is coming out next month on the Nintendo Switch 1 and 2. The Switch 2 version runs at 4K 60 FPS and just looks gorgeous, so I'm actually looking forward to replaying this game yet another time. And well, we finally have Super Mario Galaxy 2 on the Nintendo Switch, so that's pretty cool. A new Mario Tennis game will be released next year, and this one is called Mario Tennis Fever. It features a bunch of different rackets that give out special abilities, and it kinda looks cool. It's also gonna have an adventure mode featuring all of the Mario babies, which is pretty neat. Super Mario Bros. Wonder will receive a Nintendo Switch 2 edition, which is going to add a new mode which is called Meet Up in Bellabelle Park. And from what we've seen, it seems to be a bunch of multiplayer mini-games of some sort. Doesn't seem to be actual levels, but near the end of the reveal, we did see the world map that seems to feature new levels. So what is it all about? We don't know for now. I guess they'll reveal a little bit more later because it's only coming out next year. A new Yoshi game called Yoshi and the Mysterious Book will also come out on Switch 2 next year, and this one takes place inside of a magic book. So the art style feels like everything is drawn onto the screen. I love how the art style for every single Yoshi game is always different. That's a cool thing they got going. After that, we learn a bit more about Tomodachi Life Living the Dream, a game that I still don't understand anything about. I mean, I keep watching the trailers, and yet I have no clue what I'm looking at. One thing's for sure, I'll try it once it comes out in spring next year. Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade also got a new trailer and also got a release date of January 22nd, 2026. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm really hyped about this game. I haven't played it on the other consoles it came out for, and I kinda wanna play it in handheld mode lying down on my couch. So I'm really looking forward to that Switch 2 version. Hades 2, a title that has been in the works for years, also now has an official release date of September 25, 2025, with a physical version coming out a bit later in November. Kirby Air Riders got a short little trailer showcasing off the new amiibo and how they will be used in the final game. We also got the news that a second Kirby Air Riders Nintendo Direct presentation will air in the near future. And I mean, the first one was already 45 minutes long. Do we even need more? Like, how long will the sequel be? 1 hour? Imagine. Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment was up next, and as I'm really excited about playing this game, I was super happy to see it in action. Finally, some proper gameplay footage. Hopefully, we'll get a release date, because all we know is that it's coming out during the winter. That might actually be next year, who knows? Wait, what? November 6th? It's coming out this year? Oh my gosh, I'm so happy! I love the Zelda Warriors game! Let's freaking go! A new console is making its way to the Nintendo Classics on Nintendo Switch 2. And well, it's the frickin' Virtual Boy. Yup, that ugly red hunk of plastic is going to be playable on Switch. And you'll be able to buy a physical Virtual Boy accessory to put your Switch into if you want to get the OG experience of getting 3D headaches. Wow, this is dumb. This is such a Nintendo thing to do. I can't wait to buy it! I know I'm stupid, but I mean, look at this, it looks so cool! A bunch of third-party titles were then announced, all featuring Nintendo Switch 2 editions with upgrades. One Piece Pirate Warriors 4, Overcooked 2, Stardew Valley, and Human Fall Flat. Those are all great titles. But nowhere as great as Power Wash Simulator 2, a game where you have to wash dirty stuff. I know it sounds dumb, but it's actually quite addictive. Metroid Prime 4 Beyond got yet another trailer, but this time we saw Samus riding some sort of motorcycle vehicle through the desert. Is Metroid Prime 4 an open world game? I don't know, they're still being quite mysterious about this whole thing. We won't be waiting too long to know all about it, cause the game will be out this year on December 4th. More amiibo were also announced to go with the game, and they kinda look sick, not gonna lie. I'm really hyped about this one. Next up is an announcement that literally came out of nowhere. Donkey Kong Bonanza is getting DLC. DK Island will now be an explorable world, and it seems to bring back a bunch of locations and elements from previous DK games. And well, this DLC also introduces Emerald Rush, a new hectic game mode where you have to smash as many emeralds as you can while completing side quests to get new abilities, allowing you to smash even more emeralds. It seems to be a time-based competitive mode where you have to get as many points as you can. It seems kind of fun, and well, it releases now. Okay, a random DK DLC shadow drop? I bet you nobody had that on their bingo card, that's for sure. If you like Pokemon, Stardew Valley, Minecraft, Animal Crossing, and would like to kind of combine all of these to create a game, well, you'd probably get Pokemon Pokopia, a new project that was shown. It looks interesting, but it's not coming out soon, so I'll wait for more information before getting excited. I mean, it's a Pokemon game after all. We have to be careful with those. Some are great, some are pretty Pokemon Legends ZA got yet another trailer, and also got a trailer for a new DLC called Mega Dimension. I hate when they announce DLC before the game is actually out. It just means they're cutting off stuff from the main game to sell them for a price later down the line. It's a bit annoying, but whatever, what can I do about it? Resident Evil Requiem, the game that was just announced on the PlayStation 5, will also be coming out on the Nintendo Switch too, which is something I really was not expecting. I'm actually stoked to be able to play the newer Resident Evil games on a Nintendo console again. That's super cool. Even cooler is that we'll also be able to play Resident Evil 7 and 8 Gold Edition on the very same day as Requiem comes out. Oh yeah, give me all of the Resident Evil, Capcom. I'll buy them all. The final announcement was a brand new game in the Fire Emblem series. Yup, again. I'm happy for you Fire Emblem fans, okay? But I kinda wish Mario and Zelda would also get a new game every 3 years instead of having to wait 7 years in between releases. Anyways, Fire Emblem Fortune's Weaves will come out next year, and it actually looks pretty fun. That's it for the Nintendo Direct, and as you can see, it was quite beefy. It featured a lot of announcements, and a bunch of release dates were finally revealed. This Direct was definitely worth the wait. Alright, now that we know everything that's coming out in the near and far future, let's focus on what I actually played right now during the month of September. It all started with Silksong, the sequel to Hollow Knight, a game that I was told was amazing, but had never played before. After playing Hollow Knight for a few hours, I saw the potential and why everyone was loving it. I decided to get straight into Silksong without finishing Hollow Knight first, just because I wanted to experience this brand new game with everyone else that was playing it around me. I'm happy to report that it's a really good game. Basically, it's a Metroidvania, so you'll explore a giant map and will fight enemies along the way. Often you'll be stuck and will stumble on dead ends, but that's part of the game, because eventually you'll unlock a way to explore more of the map and get rid of those dead ends. The thing that sets Silksong apart from other Metroidvania is the difficulty. This game is hard, and when you die, you lose all of your money and have to travel back to your corpse to recover it. This makes everything stressful, but it never annoyed me or put me down. I actually wanted to go back through the challenge. I wanted to fight that boss to defeat it this time around, and well, I'm happy to say I actually finished Silksong and had a blast with it. It's insanely good and you should totally play it. After that, I played the brand new Mario Kart killer, Sonic Cross World, and well, it was super fun. This game features so many cool mechanics, like the ability to customize your karts. Mixing up different car parts will improve your speed or handling, but you can also just put stickers all over them to make them look cool. The game also features a loadout system where you can apply special abilities you'll have during the race. Some of these abilities allow you to hold more items at once, give you a speed boost, give you random items at the beginning, and so much more. The game features the cross-world mechanic, and that means that every time you reach lap 2, you'll get to race in a different world chosen by the person in first place at the time. This makes every racetrack different from the previous one and actually makes the game super fun. I played the Nintendo Switch 1 version because the Switch 2 edition will only be out later this year, so that means I was stuck playing it at 30 FPS, which is less than ideal, but I know that once the Switch 2 upgrade comes out, I'll get back into it. Obviously, I was looking forward to that game, so I played tons of Hades too, and well, it's everything I wanted. It's just more Hades, with a new protagonist, new weapons, and new worlds. Basically, in this game, you're meant to defeat all of the enemies and bosses, and after each room, you collect a power-up that will make you more powerful. When you die, you lose all of these power-ups, but the items you collected will remain with you, and these items can be traded for permanent upgrades to your character. In other words, the more you play and the more you die, the stronger you get, and eventually, well, the less you die. This is one heck of a complete game, and I wish I played it more, but the month passed by so fast. So many games to play, not enough time to play them all. I guess not having enough time also explains why I bought Pac-Man World 2 on Switch 2, but have yet to play it. I know I will get to it eventually, as I loved the first game on the OG Switch. Oh, I almost forgot. I did play the new Donkey Kong Emerald Rush DLC right when it came out after the Direct, and I have to say, it's kind of fun, but it's not amazing. For the price I paid, I was expecting a bit more. The new DK Island is fun to explore, but it lacks new bananas to collect. There are no fossils either, so it's just meant to be a cool place to explore to feel nostalgic about DK64 and the other DK games. Thankfully, the new Emerald Rush mode is super fun. Basically, you have a limited amount of time to destroy some emerald and improve your high score. Quests will be randomly given to you during your runs, and finishing up those quests will give you more abilities, allowing you to score even more points. I also really like the fact that the more you play, the more you unlock stuff to do. Emerald Rush can be played in multiple layers, not only on DK Island, and re-exploring the other layers but with a different objective in mind actually mixes things up. This DLC was super fun, but I believe it should have been like $5 to $10 top. For the price I paid, I was just not very satisfied. October is here, and well, this month was also filled to the brim with games to play, starting off with a good old friend. Hello Super Mario Galaxy, I missed you! Mario Galaxy 1 plus 2 is exactly what I was expecting. It's Mario Galaxy 1 and 2, but in 4K. And not gonna lie, this game ages like fine wine. I had already played Mario Galaxy 1 a few years ago when Super Mario 3D All-Stars came out, so I decided to skip straight to Mario Galaxy 2 for this re-release. And well, I love it! It's by far one of the best games ever created. The gameplay is solid, the level design is fantastic, those new power-ups are just fun to use, and the new 4K resolution just makes everything look better than ever. This game is gorgeous on Switch 2 on my big TV, and I just wanted to play it more and more. I actually ended up collecting all 120 stars just for fun. I was also planning to collect the 120 green stars, but alas, another game came out before I could finish this quest. Pokemon Legends ZA is finally out, and as a fan of the original Legends Arceus, I had high hopes for this one. It's actually very different from Pokemon Arceus, and at first I wasn't too sure about it, but the game actually grew on me. This one is no longer focused on exploring the wild and catching Pokemons while hiding in tall grass. Nope, instead you'll spend your entire quest in one single city, Lumiose, and will have to fight a bunch of trainers. The main new gimmick? Well, the real-time battle system. Say goodbye to the good old turn-based Pokemon gameplay, as it's now officially gone. Replacing it instead is a new system where you and your Pokemon move around the battle arena and can attack as fast as you can. Each of your moves have cooldowns, however, so timing remains key to win those fights. This game has a bit of controversy surrounding it, as it's not the prettiest game ever. In fact, I do think it's kind of ugly, but once you get past this, you get to explore one of the craziest Pokemon games ever. I actually completed the game, the post-game content, and I even filled up my Pokédex. Yup, that's how much fun I had. I am looking forward to the DLC, but not right now, cause I have other games to play. I did buy Tales of Xillia Remastered on the OG Switch because I am a fan of the Tales of series, but this game will take too long to beat for now, so I'm saving it for later. Luigi's Mansion for the GameCube came out near the end of the month, close to Halloween Day, which is actually neat. The more GameCube games we get, the better the NSO service also gets, so it's a win. Nintendo had a few announcements during the month, starting off on October 7th with a weird animation video titled Close to You. This one featured a baby and his mother. It also featured floating objects, and it was interesting, I guess, but I had no clue what it actually was. Like, what was the point of releasing this without any context? Thankfully, it didn't take long before a second version of the same video was posted, but this time showing off a bunch of Pikmins moving around the room. Oh, it was a Pikmin short all along. But yeah, why are they teasing Pikmin? Like, is there a new game coming up? I don't know, but I guess it might be teasing the fact that Pikmin 4 is going to get a free update in November? Yup. This new update will add decor Pikmin that will hide throughout the world. Finding them all will be a new objective. This free update will also add a new easy mode and also a new hard mode. Guess I'm gonna have to start a new game to try this new hard mode during the holiday season. Sadly, no Nintendo Switch 2 visual upgrades were announced during the trailer, but who knows, this might still happen anyways. The second Kirby Air Riders Direct also happened a couple days later, and well, I wasn't sold on the concept of Kirby Air Riders during the first one, but let me tell you that the second Direct actually got me good. With everything that this game seems to feature, I know this is gonna be one heck of a party game. It has so many different characters, tracks, game modes, challenges. It's a big game, and you can pretty much customize everything. I think this one is a sleeper hit and will eventually get quite big, but you're gonna have to get out of your comfort zone first. I just can't wait to experience it next month. Finally, right before the end of October, Nintendo casually dropped a trailer on their social media channels. This drop is all about Animal Crossing New Horizons. Not only will this game get a Nintendo Switch 2 edition, it's also going to get a free update that adds tons of cool things to it. There is now gonna be a hotel, and you'll need to decorate the rooms in this hotel to get customers to visit it. It will also feature new furnitures and objects to use to decorate everything. It's gonna allow you to have up to 3 islands, and it now introduces Legos. Yup, Animal Crossing X Lego is a thing now. The Switch 2 edition will improve the resolution and will allow you to use the mouse controls to decorate your island. You'll also be able to use a megaphone with the Switch 2 microphone, and if you have the camera, you'll be able to show your face to your friends using game chat. Up to 12 players will now be able to visit islands at once, which is a bump from the original game's 8 players. This upgrade is actually only gonna cost $5, which is actually a really fair price. Thank you, Nintendo, for not being greedy this time around. We actually appreciate it, and we are gonna buy. November will be an interesting month for Nintendo Switch 2, as we'll get a new first-party game every other week. But before we get to the games I played during that month, we first have to discuss something really interesting: sales figures. On November 4th, Nintendo published all of the numbers, and we now know that the Switch 2 has sold 10.36 million consoles in its first months of existence. This is actually huge, and these numbers don't even include the month of October. With how popular Pokemon games typically are, I bet you a bunch of bundles were sold during the month, so the number is definitely way higher. Actually, Nintendo had to revise their previous forecast. They had planned to sell 15 million units by the end of the fiscal year, and now they plan to sell 18 million. Whew, that's quite the bump. I think it's safe to say that the Nintendo Switch 2 is selling like hotcakes, and all of this without a new proper 3D Mario or 3D Zelda game. Imagine when those big hits will drop. Woof! Nintendo is literally swimming in money as we speak. And it really looks like they're going to be printing a lot of money for the upcoming months and years as well, because there's a lot of cool things in the works at Nintendo. A bunch of trailers were casually dropped during the month without any warning whatsoever. The first one was a quick guide video about game keycards, basically explaining that they are empty plastic shells that you use to download games on the eShop. I'm not here to debate whether game keycards are okay or not. The only reason I mention this trailer is because it features the box art for Nicobbq. So I guess it kinda confirms that this game will be offered on a game keycard. Does that mean it's coming out soon? Well, yes and no, I suppose. A couple days later, we got an extended look at this game with a new trailer that reveals the basic mechanics. In this game, you'll be controlling a Ditto that transforms into a human-looking creature, and you'll meet different Pokemon and gain their abilities to rebuild a destroyed city that was once inhabited by humans. Yep, looks like it's a post-apocalyptic game where everything is destroyed and every human is dead, but that's okay, as we'll rebuild it all and everything will be Gucci. The game looks pretty fun, not gonna lie. Nicobbq will come out in 2026 in the month of March and will cost full price, which is a tough pill to swallow. I mean, it's a spin-off game, how come it's so expensive? Ugh, the Nintendo greed is back again. Oh well. On a more positive note, the Super Mario Galaxy movie finally got its first ever trailer during a dedicated Nintendo Direct, and it actually looks fantastic. It introduces Brie Larson as Princess Rosalina and Benny Safdie as Bowser Jr., which is actually kinda neat. I can't show you the trailer here because of copyright laws and whatnot, but trust me, it looks good. On a random Friday morning, Metroid Prime 4 Beyond got an overview trailer revealing a bit more to this game that's coming out in less than a month. Some media people also got the chance to play the game, and once they released their impressions, a big controversy was unveiled. Metroid Prime 4 contains some NPCs, and it seems that one of them is actually super obnoxious. He apparently keeps making unfunny jokes, interrupts Samus to tell her obvious hints, and much more. Everybody hates that guy, and they're afraid that the game might suck because of him. Will this annoying NPC ruin everything for everyone? Stay tuned to find out in a couple minutes once we get to December. Anyways, before we get there, we have to discuss the titles that I played during the current month of November. The first game that came out was a brand new entry in the Hyrule Warriors franchise named Age of Imprisonment. This brand new game actually tells the story of the Imprisoning War, you know, the war that occurred in the past during the events of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. At the beginning of that game, Link and Zelda get separated and Zelda just kind of vanishes and gets sent to the past. We had a couple cutscenes explaining what she did while we were trying to save Hyrule in the present time, but we never got all of the details. Thankfully, this new Hyrule Warriors is here to tell us all about it. It's actually quite interesting to learn more about the lore and everything, but to be fair, this story isn't the strongest one in my opinion. And this might be because this is actually a Warriors game, and well, the fun in these games isn't the story per se, it's actually being able to control one hero capable of destroying thousands of enemies without putting too much effort. And well, the game does that really well. There are so many enemies on screen at once, it's insane, and the Switch 2 runs it perfectly at 60 FPS with no drops whatsoever. The game is full of cool characters, epic abilities, and now we can use Zonai devices to attack the baddies, which is a really cool reference to Tears of the Kingdom. The game also introduces sync attacks, which let two characters attack together to create some really powerful moves that can destroy all of the evil bosses. This game is pure fun from beginning to end, but it might be a bit repetitive, so I had to alternate playing it with another game just to keep the fun factor high. And well, the second game I played was Pikmin 4. Yup, that update that was previously announced dropped out of nowhere on a random Tuesday, and well, I decided to start a brand new game, but using the new Fierce mode that is meant to make everything more difficult. To be honest, I didn't notice that much of a difference, and well, the game isn't really difficult, but still, it's super fun to play Pikmin 4 again. The new decor Pikmins are also kind of fun to find. You get picture hints of where they are, and then when you find them, you just gotta take a picture to collect them. They also get sent to the mobile game Pikmin Bloom, and as a hardcore Pikmin Bloom player, you know I'm gonna have to find them all. On the same day that this update dropped, a new Nintendo Switch 2 firmware update also dropped, and this one actually improves a few things. The icons used for the games have been updated and now better showcase if the game is a Switch 1, Switch 2, physical, or digital game. They all have different icons now. That's neat. This update also bricked a bunch of third-party ducks that people were using, and that's really uncool. Nintendo had to specify that they had no intention of breaking those third-party ducks and that it was all a coincidence. Yeah, sure, Nintendo. I believe that. Sure. Hey, I played Animal Crossing New Horizons for the first time ever during that month, just to get ready for the January update. And well, wow, I see why it's popular. It's such a cozy game, and I love improving my home, collecting fossils for the museum, fishing and catching bugs, and yeah, I love it. But whatever, you don't really care about that because it's an old game. So let's move on to Kirby Air Riders instead. This game had a global test ride for the 2 weekends leading to the game's release, and I played during one of them. And well, I don't know how to explain this game to you. It's chaotic, hectic, crazy, insane, fast-paced, and my boomer brain just cannot comprehend what is going on my screen half the time. And yet, it's amazing! I really had a blast playing during the weekend, even though it never felt like I was getting any better at it. I was already planning on buying the game, as you know, but this demo actually sold me on the whole thing. And well, I did buy the final product. This game is filled to the brim with content. There are so many game modes to play, and they can all be played online with real people, which makes it so much better. The Air Ride mode is the typical racing mode. It features a bunch of tracks, including the ones from the GameCube game Kirby Air Ride, which is kinda neat. And well, it's a racing game, you gotta come in first place to be the epic winner chicken dinner. Top Ride mode is pretty much the same thing, except you're racing on much smaller maps and the camera is not behind you anymore. Instead, it's, well, on top of you, hence the name Top Ride. There's also the City Trial mode, which is the most fun one in my opinion. Basically, you explore a big map for 5 minutes and collect as many power-ups as you can to improve your machine. You can fight people you meet throughout those 5 minutes, and a bunch of random events occur, and they can either help you or ruin your day. After the time is done, you'll see your final build and will get to pick a minigame to go play with other people. Those minigames are very different from one another, and the selection is quite big, meaning that each game of City Trial remains fresh and fun. Oh, and there's also an adventure mode called Road Trip, which reminds me a lot of the adventure mode in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Basically, you'll be shown 3 different events, and you gotta pick one and clear it to move to the next one. These events are a combination of Air Ride, Top Ride, City Trials, and all of the stadium minigames, but with a twist. The twist is never the same one, which is actually super cool. This is the mode I played for the longest time, and well, it was a blast. Kirby Air Riders isn't for everyone, but it's fun nonetheless. I suggest trying it out before you buy it, just to make sure this one's gonna be your type of game. The rest of the month of November was a bit more relaxed. Nintendo did share the first ever pictures of the movie set for the Legend of Zelda movie, and well, not gonna lie, these pictures look good. I think this movie's gonna be good. They seem to be cooking with the casting and everything. I can't wait to watch it. In like a year and a half, if there's no delay. Assassin's Creed Shadows got an official announcement with a release date of December 2, so that's kinda neat to see Ubisoft porting their big games onto Nintendo's platforms. Sonic Crossworld for Switch 2 was also revealed to be coming out on December 4th, so as a fan of the OG Switch 1 game, you bet I'm gonna get that upgrade pack. I think it's gonna be like 10 bucks or something, which is a decent price. Oh, I almost forgot. Red Dead Redemption was also announced for Switch 2 with a free upgrade if you own the Switch 1 version. So that's pretty cool. I've never played the Red Dead series, but I've heard it's insanely good, so I might have to give this one a try eventually. Guess what? It's December now, and well, the whole internet is only focusing on one single game, Metroid Prime 4. The reviews have started to appear online on December 2, and it seems to be a bit of a mixed bag. The Metacritic score is close to the 80 mark, which is the lowest for the Metroid Prime series. Obviously, 80 is a great score for any game, so I know it's gonna be good. Thankfully, as it releases on December 4th, the wait won't be too long. Oh hey, look at that! It's in my hands now! Let's give it a go, shall we? Not gonna lie, this is a great game. I am super happy to be playing a new entry in the Metroid Prime series after all this time. Metroid Prime 4 Beyond features everything that we've come to know and love from the series. Fun fights, lots of exploration, cool power-ups to collect, a bunch of things to scan, and even more. This game doesn't try to reinvent the formula or change it drastically. Nope, it's just more Metroid Prime, and that's a good thing. That was everything I actually wanted from this game. The new psychic powers and abilities are actually kinda neat, especially when they're being used to fight specific bosses or to solve difficult puzzles. The brand new motorcycle, Viola, on the other hand, is a big miss for me. Instead of connecting all of the areas with elevator platforms like the other games do, well, Metroid Prime 4 insists that you hop onto a motorcycle and make your way through a vast desert to get to your destination. This desert feels a bit empty, although it does feature a couple dungeons to explore to get new power-ups. It's not as bad as some people online make it out to be, but it's also not that great either. Thankfully, once you leave that desert and enter the actual areas, you're gonna be back to greatness. This game was really fun and kept me busy for a couple hours, which is great. Is it a good game? Yes. Is it a revolutionary masterpiece? Nope, it isn't. Do I want more entries in the Metroid Prime series? Heck yeah! During December, I also bought the Nintendo Switch 2 upgrade for Sonic Crossworld because it was like 50% off and cost me only $5. Not gonna lie, this is a well spent $5. Look at the difference between this footage of the Switch 1 version and then this footage of the Switch 2 version. This is night and day. I already enjoyed this game quite a lot with the crappy frame rate, so you bet I love it even more now. This upgrade pack doesn't include any special DLC or anything, so it only makes your overall experience better, which I suppose is what an upgrade pack should do. What else happened in December? Let me think. Oh, Nintendo shadow dropped a new GameCube title for Nintendo Switch Online owners. Wario World is now available to play. And well, this came out of nowhere, especially as it wasn't one of the titles that was first announced when the GameCube NSO app was first shown. I do remember renting this game from Blockbuster when I was younger, but I don't really remember much about it. Guess I'll have to play it on NSO now. Final Fantasy VII Intergrade, the game that is coming out in January of 2026, also got a playable demo mid-December. And well, it showed the world that a really ambitious title like this could run on Switch 2. It plays and feels great, and actually sold me on buying the full game once it comes out next month. It's awesome to see proper third-party support on a Nintendo console. And with games like this one and Resident Evil Requiem releasing in the upcoming months, we won't be bored, that's for sure. Unless we cannot afford the console anymore. Yup, December is also a month that brought potentially bad news for gamers. Crucial, one of the leading producers of RAM, announced that it was no longer going to sell RAM for consumers. instead focusing on AI data centers. What that means is that RAM prices are going up, and there's RAM inside of every game console, every computer, and every phone that you own. According to a report from Bloomberg, Nintendo is now paying 41% more for the 12 gigabytes of RAM inside the Switch 2. That's a huge price increase, and I wouldn't be surprised to see the console go up in price because of that. Obviously, it's still too early to say, but who knows, we might be getting another price hike in the near future. Hopefully not, but I'm not feeling that confident. On a more positive note though, December was also the month of the Game Awards show by Jeff Keighley, and well, we got a couple new games announced for Switch 2, like Pragmata, a new Mega Man game, Phasmophobia, and Lego Batman. Nintendo also won 2 awards, Best Sports Game with Mario Kart World, and Best Family Game with DK Bonanza. Congratulations to everyone that worked on these games. So what else is there to talk about before actually ending this hour-long video? Oh, well, the DLC for Pokemon Legends ZA was released, and well, it kind of flopped. To be honest, I enjoyed Pokemon Legends ZA quite a lot, but once I finished it, I kinda didn't feel the need to go back to it, and that's the reason why I didn't get the Mega Dimension DLC. Reviews have been pretty mixed too. Apparently it's not that fun, and it's just more of the same with a bunch of grinding and doing the same thing over and over again. It's a bummer. So there you go, that was my recap of 2025 regarding the Nintendo Switch 2. And wow, it was quite the year! I cannot wait to see what 2026 has in store for us, cause keep in mind, we still don't have a proper 3D Mario or a proper 3D Zelda. Those projects will eventually come out, that's a fact. But yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. I know it was a long one, but I wanted to give you guys a present for the holiday season, and that was it. So see you again in 2026 for more epic Nintendo videos. Bye bye!